Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Big Chat. Season 2 for us, Season 26 for Big Brother. We have a cast, we have a house, and I don't know what in the hell I just watched. So I'm going to bring in my co-host to help me figure this out because AI has got me scrambled. I'm clueless. Ladies, do you prefer us like this, or would you rather us be like this?
I like that one better.
This one? Okay, well, I'll just move this. I'll just do something with that. So I need to, I got to fix the screen too. I need to tell everybody our phone lines are open, 1-888-88-YERGZ, 1-888-88-YERGZ, and the new phone number, we are live on Yerg's Radio and Rainbow Radio. The number for it is 1-844-GAY, G-A-Y, LGBT. The phone lines are open. The chat is open. And as always, you're free to call us and drop in your opinions and tell us, maybe you know what the hell we just watched. So Big Brother is here.
And watching.
Wow. Yeah, the feeds will go live hopefully in the next, 30 minutes-ish. So, but
I think she said that they went live at midnight.
So, well, I guess midnight. I hope it's not midnight their time because that'd be 3 a.m. That'd suck. So,
well, are we ready to dive into this first episode?
Absolutely. Because there's a lot to unpack. Holy cow.
I think I know who will go first.
Yeah, well, she's going to take the award this year for best prepared because
I had a lot of free time today.
I will say the Ainsley, I want to know, we need to find out, Reddit will tell us if Ainsley was a real person or if that was actually AI. So, because
I was wondering that too, and I don't know if it's because I was watching it on something different earlier. But when I was watching it earlier, I was on my tablet and her eyes were not nearly as blue than whenever I was watching it this evening.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it in my notes for tonight's episode, but she kind of made a little bit of a flub up that was kind of a giveaway to me. That I guess you wouldn't really notice it unless you were really paying attention.
Well, on tonight's episode, Matt, he caught the tinfoil dress.
Well, that's if you listen to her while I don't remember if it was when she was talking about herself or after when she was like telling him how disappointed she was. But, you know, how she was talking, it would have been like, yeah, it's totally whatever. But she was like, totally. And I was like,
Are you a real person?
But I'll hand it to him. She looked real.
Yeah. It was on the screen crystal clear. And I was thinking, okay, the guys are definitely going to vote her in.
Nope.
But no. And
I thought the same thing.
No,
I was like,
think,
they're gonna say hot chick and they're gonna vote her in. And
hold on,
tonight she only had, well,
two.
yeah, 2.
Yeah,
So
She
last night
had
I was
she had
surprised.
4.
Leah and Quinn, and then last week she had
Mean last
Angela,
name.
Rubina, and Mackenzie. Joseph, Rubina, and Mackenzie. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Mustache was all about it. That's my guy.
And he has a
We'll
real
get.
video store. It's real.
I was like, it's as I was watching, I was like, you see how many corners go around there? There's totally a porn section back there.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Like
they were like
vintage
blurring it
pornos.
out. Yeah.
they showed us the entrance to the store. I won't say the name of it because I don't want to dox him, but
Oh,
yeah,
it's
they
funny.
should.
I totally would because I have it written here, and it was
No, okay.
on a big picture. Right
Yeah,
on
it was right out there. So I was like, well, they do
Viper
exist.
video.
They do exist.
Well, so everything started off for yesterday's episode. I was listing them in order that it showed them and things that they were talking about them. So Rubina was first. Girl's only 4'9".
I know.
Mhm.
Little tiny little pocket size Filipino. She said she was bossy, she's crazy, she's loud, and she's there to fight. Which
She's not as loud as Angela.
No.
we'll get there. I thought Cam was really cool, but I mean, once he started talking about crystals and meditation, I was wooed.
I know.
but-
That's what my wife said. She's like, I like him. I'm like, yeah, knew it.
Oh yeah.
But so he went to a private school. He had done a lot of things with football, and he ended up injured, so that's what got him into doing physical therapy. His
Good on
mom
him.
had passed away. He said he was very empathetic and he loved his crystals and meditation. So I was like, yep, yes, please, thank you.
That's your guy. Okay.
And then I was trying to put a face with the name for a minute. Then we have Mackenzie, who she said she likes to stand out. She's single, and she will use a man. Her quote, not mine.
Well, you know, I don't want to be the one to say this, but don't most women?
Well, there's a nice quote from Leah later on. So
I know. I was happy with that.
and then there was Joseph. Was it he owned it or he worked there?
He works there.
Yeah.
So he works at a video store, which we were fairly certain was a porn store. But it's called Viper Video. He said he was a big fan of the show, which I kind of feel like they all have to say.
Yeah, in his well, yeah.
He said he was very strategic. You know, we were talking the other day about him, being a poker guy, and he said that he was going to use all that to his advantage. And his thing was that, he'd like to make friends and everything, but at the end of the day, no doubt we'll vote you out.
Gotcha.
I don't think if they were not a fan of the show, they would do the show. You couldn't get me to go stay in a house for 90 days and not know what was going to happen. Like some idea of what it was about.
I'd start like having a panic attack.
Yeah, you
very
would have to
beginning
be
of
a
this,
fan.
Cats.
in the very beginning of Big Brother, they would have casting calls just for an open reality show, and they were doing Survivor and Big Brother.
Oh God.
And Rob Sesternino, Rob has a podcast, he wanted to go to Survivor and was picked for Survivor. At the last minute, somebody or no, I'm sorry, for Big Brother. And that's what he wanted to go for. And at the last minute, somebody fell out and he got shipped off to Survivor.
Oh
No,
my
thank you.
gosh.
Just kill
That
me
would
off
have
the
to
first
suck.
day.
Mm.
So then we had Angela, and she was a self-described cool mom who loves clubs and dancing. She's the life of the party. She's been watching Big Brother since season 12. She said that she was worried. That it's funny that she was worried of what exactly we said about her, that she was going to be the very motherly type, but she said she
Yeah.
will be cutthroat if necessary.
Yeah. I don't see her dancing on tables though.
No, no.
But
Uh,
90 days, she may get
she
crazy. You never know.
she might be
She's pretty
screaming.
crazy.
She might be screaming in excitement at them.
I, I did like Cam, like, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe into the house. He's picking up something. He goes, wait, are we allowed to touch stuff? I was like, okay, yes, you're a gentleman. That shows.
well, I do mention that later on as well.
Sorry. I didn't mean
So
to get ahead of you.
with chemo, obviously from Hawaii.
Aloha.
He he said that he was a singer and an artist. Um, he used to regularly watch Big Brother with his big brother, but then he ended up losing his brother to cancer.
Cancer sucks.
And then there was Chelsea, who is 5'2", said she was half hood and half holy.
Which
Very
confuses me.
very competitive. She will separate her morals to win and will probably be repenting about it after she leaves.
Well, she's honest, I guess.
And then the ending of the first half was with Tucker, which I thought was very funny, that when he had it had said that he was like a marketing executive and stuff, we were all like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's like, of a protein bar company, and I'm like, okay.
Maybe, but okay.
Says he's saying about himself that he's very affectionate. He just kind of came across a little goofy, like under all
Yeah,
that hair there's blonde somewhere, and he's a
yeah.
little
I don't know what to make of him yet. He's gonna be the clown. I don't think it's gonna be Quinn. I think he's gonna be the clown.
I think it'll be both of them, but in different ways. I feel like Tucker would be the one trying to pull pranks on people, and like Quinn will be the one out there saying like stupid or witty stuff to make people laugh.
Yeah,
Because I was getting a lot of enjoyment out of watching Quinn tonight.
If someone does a version of Grease and does not cast Tucker as Kaneki, they have missed their opportunity.
Yep. Yep.
That's all I could think about when I saw Tucker was Kaneki from Grease.
yeah,
And
yeah.
with some of the shots that they were getting him at, I'm like, that dude kind of looks like he could be Jim Carrey's son or
Oh,
like
yes.
nephew.
I thought that too.
Mhm.
And strangely enough, a good friend of mine who I went to high school with, who's passed away now, just so much of him to me. I look at him and think, that's Mike. So if you hear me screw his name up and call him Mike this season, that'll probably be why, because
Mike,
close.
aka Jim Carrey, aka Tucker.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to come up with catchy names that we can remember everybody by.
Right.
Oh yeah,
I was
they'll
like
probably get
staring there for a minute.
names by week 3.
I'm like, which one is that one? I had to think for a minute. So then all of them are introduced and brought out, and since there's only 8 of them in the first episode, they're split up into groups of 4. So in the order of names that Julie called them to go in first was Tucker, Angela, Chemo, and Chelsea. Tucker was the very first one to walk in, and he
Got his
acknowledges
wish.
and he acknowledged that the known about curse that if you're the first one to walk through, you won't win.
You'll never win. Yeah.
Um, and then immediately upon getting inside, um, Angela starts losing her mind
Yes, she did.
and getting emotional. And I had noted in my thought here that, you know, Chelsea acknowledges that, you know, she's kind of freaking out and everything. Um, but at that particular point, I couldn't tell whether she was amused or annoyed or just like, what the hell are you doing? So then
Yeah.
in order for the next group to come in, it's Cam, Mackenzie, Joseph, and Rubina. Um, if you notice during that, because I didn't write on this one who came through first on that one. I have a feeling it was probably, I think it was Mackenzie now that I'm thinking about it.
No,
But
Mackenzie
it,
was last,
okay.
and I was kind of
So
shocked
then,
that he didn't hold the door for her.
well, Cam did. He stood there and was holding the door.
Okay. All right. Well,
Um,
then he was last then, I guess.
um, so as soon as they're in there, I mean, obviously Mackenzie towering everybody over everybody else, um, makes it very well known that she can cook and that the guys are all shorter than her. And I thought it was very funny as you're watching it that it like pauses of her standing over them and then just
Yes.
arrows of
True and arrow.
not 6'5". um, because she says in like her own her little um whatever you want to call it where they're talking to just her that she's 6'2" and she has to have somebody that's at least 6'5", and then that's just when it pauses and arrows spread out and it's just like not 6'5".
Yeah.
Um,
Producers having fun.
yeah, it it sounds like something I would do. Um, and I thought it was very funny that it cuts over to Joseph and he Joseph and mentions that his mustache tends to make people think he's a villain and that he's going to tie a damsel to the railroad tracks and that
I
he is
love
going
that.
and that he is going to have to overcompensate for that.
And the first thing my wife said was, "Well, shave that shit off." And she looked at me and I'm like, "What? What do you mean?"
If he could clean it up a little bit, it would come to good use, but that's, you know. Um, and he also wants everybody to think that he's playful and sweet so that he can just run up on him and snatch the check.
Him and Rabina, those are my two to the end.
Yep.
Right, I'm
Um,
ride or die. Got mustache.
so while they're like walking around, and I think it was around the time that you were saying Cam was touching stuff and asking if they were allowed to touch stuff, he makes a comment that he feels like him and Tucker already have a bond. Um, and not much time. They don't have much time to really talk to each other, get to know each other much before um, Julie is calling
Houseguest.
them. Julie is calling them outside to the backyard because they have an opportunity to change the game. So what are our thoughts now after we've met everybody a little bit more on everybody?
I'm still on board with Hosea and the mustache. Rabina, I wasn't clear that she was so short or so tiny or whatever
Yeah,
the
I
correct
didn't
verbiage
either.
is. But
You really get a
she's
sense of it though after like the next scene where they're outside and you're like looking up at the eight of them and you're
yep.
like, "Ooh, girl is
It's but she's gonna be loud and and
it's
funny.
it'll be the same thing that I always tell my former coworker Mary, who's like 5'2", 5'4" at max. And I always say, because she's old enough to be my mom, and I'm like, she be little, but she be fierce.
And I can tell you right away that chemo is getting annoyed me to death with my headphones on, listening to him while I'm working with that laugh. Holy cow. So
Yeah,
it's just a unique laugh.
I didn't pay too
Mhm.
much with that. I got more annoyed with his choice of clothing. Like, can you dress in something that's not a Hawaiian shirt, please?
He probably doesn't own anything that's not a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, I think that's gonna hit his laugh is gonna annoy me, but I think he's gonna be kind of cool in the house.
Mhm.
I
Tucker,
I
I
I kind
figure
of
will be
hope
the first to be the grouch one.
see at I got a
Unintentionally.
I got a tiny vibe of it from first episode, but after watching this evening's, I think it's going to be Chelsea that's going to be the one that starts getting nasty,
Yeah,
because she's already getting
could
really
be.
butthurt about
Yeah,
Mhm.
tonight's
yeah,
episode.
yeah. Well, I mean, you lost,
Yeah.
And
and
Cedric
if
is
she
going to know
lost,
that Kenny is a cop.
yes, yeah. They
He
said he
already
was an
saw the
intelligence
tattoo.
officer.
well, not, but I wonder if
Yes.
it might be like a, okay, you don't want people to know, so I'm just gonna. But
Could be.
I mean, I know that those particular type of things mean something separate from, hey, I'm a veterinarian and I don't want you to tell anybody. But
Yeah,
where it's military and police, I wonder if he'll understand more.
yeah. Let's see what his story comes up with. Like, I'm a PE teacher or something, and everybody be like, "Well,
thought
all
maybe
those
like
tattoos."
thought maybe like security. Like security. He looks like he would do security, you know?
He's a bouncer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say he's a bouncer. So
Something
I'm
like
curious to
that.
say what he's gonna be. That's gonna make
Yeah.
or break him.
Well,
So
Mhm.
but the and granted, I know that not everybody thinks this way, but if I heard the other part of his story on why he got into what he got into,
Mhm.
then I think I would be like, okay, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
But so
Cedric
then
already knows.
I wanted to punch him in the face because I was
Cedric.
hoping, yeah, I was hoping that he was going to be like a just like a sweet little gentleman,
Yeah,
but I wanted to
yeah,
punch him in the face.
yeah. He's gonna end up being the cocky one, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So then the first eight that came in have to go out, and they find out that they are going to meet Ainsley, who is
He was
24.
smoking hot, by the way. Just want to
I
point that
I
out.
I loved the whole outfit. Um
She didn't say she was a chubby chaser, so I was kind of let down. But go
yeah.
ahead, carry on.
Well, you get to watch her run around the beach in her bikini after she's built and shaped her surfboards. So I think she might want to stay a little bit away from the water, though. Just my personal opinion. Um, but so they find out that they are gonna have the decision to either vote her into the game or vote her out. So she comes along and she tells him she's 24, she's single, she's from San Diego, and that she works in a surf shop and she's learning to shape and build surfboards. And Julie lets us know that in order for her to be voted in, she has to have at least 5 votes. If it comes down to a tie, then she doesn't get voted in. So then it turns out that it was a tie. Cam, Tucker, Chemo, and Chelsea all voted no. Mackenzie, Joseph, Rubina, and Angela voted yes. So then, after like a disgruntled parent, she tells them that, she's not upset with them. She's just disappointed. She's like, haha, screw you guys. You didn't vote me in, but I'm still spending all summer with you because, bitch, I'm artificial intelligence. Um, her name
Indeed.
is, her name is Ainsley, but that stands for Artificial Intelligence Network Self-Learning Entity, which I was just like, I don't I don't like
Creepy.
how I don't like how realistic it is. I don't like it at all.
It's creepy. Yeah, yeah.
So then that is BB bot that will be with them all summer for we don't know what. Who knows? Um, and Ainsley lets them know that all the guests that voted yes um, will have to compete for a secret power that will give their game an upgrade. And the house guests that voted no will be competing, and whoever loses their game will be getting a downgrade. So the upgrade game was called Color Calibration. And basically, what it is they're sitting in a chair that will spin them, and on all four sides of the wall are different colors, and they have to remember the colors in which sequence they flash um, on the walls, and then they have to get up from the spinning chair and make their way over to each of the colored buttons and press them in the correct order. And then the downgrade game is called Fear Facer, which basically they had these 4 boxes that were filled up with different things designed to scare you. And over on the wall, there was a board, which to me, it basically looked like license plates that had different words
Yeah.
on it to describe fear. And what they were going to have to do is inside the box, there were letters, and it was basically like a physical word scramble that they had to pop their head up in these boxes, figure out what the scrambled word inside it was, and get their license plate to put on each box. And then they had to plug in the giant cable and hit the button. So whoever took the longest time and didn't complete everything on that would be downgraded.
Chelsea is still waiting. So
Yeah. Yep.
she never plugged it in.
Yep. And it was funny. I was telling my coworker today about that, and I was like, I was a little disappointed. They could have went full out instead of, because I was like, it's not scary enough to me. I mean, granted, I know we're not watching Fear Factor, but you basically just stuck your head up in a tube that happens to have spiders or roaches or snakes around it. You're not ever
Yeah.
going to touch them. That's not fun. So I was a little disappointed that it wasn't more. It's like, no, torture
Yeah.
him. You've got him for 90 days. Dude, scar him a little bit. Come on. I'm sure they're already going to have to run into Angela running around the house at some point. She was talking about how much she was wanting to hop in those showers. So.
Running around the house in a towel, if I recall her correctly. So,
Probably.
hope it's a big towel.
I looked it up. Ainsley is a real person. She's a TikToker. Cosette Renaud.
Oh, well, I'll have to subscribe to her because she was hot.
So
I wonder if they had voted to let her in, if it would have still been, or if they'd
yeah,
actually let a person in.
I
I
wonder that
know.
myself.
Hmm.
But where I was looking on, and granted, I was looking back in our messages about everything because I forget what I was trying to find. But there, I believe, was talk about getting like the viewers involved with something with the AI.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I was very curious as well if they picked yes, like what would have happened? Would whatever her name was walk out, or
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me want to go back and look through that video with Selena's titties to see if she was there by some random, like a little
Yeah.
tidbit, because
Mhm.
that was all like influencers and big people.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me want to go back and look at that video and see if maybe there was like a little snippet of her being in there. So then when the games start off, Angela was first. And it took me, I don't know how many times rewatching this video to get the correct sequence of what the colors were going in. And it was blue, green, red, blue, green, yellow, blue, green, red. And that's where I lost a little bit of my confidence in Angela. That granted, she was dizzy, but she hit blue and then her freaking elbow hit the red button.
Yeah.
She made it 15 seconds in.
But you didn't do worse.
It's true. At least she like hit a button of some sort.
Yeah.
So then next was Tucker, who was in the fear-based room. He did get all the words. Obviously, they were panic, anxiety, dread, and terror. Which took him a minute and 3 seconds to stick his head up in each of these boxes, run over, get the tile, correctly label it, plug in the thing, and hit the button that they were done. So then after that was chemo. He obviously got all the words. He did it in 52 seconds.
But he was smoking.
And then there was Cam, who also got it, but dude was fast and he got it in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So then there's Joseph and Rubina, who were next for the other game. Joseph got the blue, green, red, yellow, and then he hit green, so that stopped him at 21 seconds. And then Rubina got blue, green, red, yellow, and then hit blue at 13 seconds. And I was very surprised by how quiet she was the whole time. Like, she was just sitting there, just like concentrating. I was very surprised by that. And then we have Chelsea. Oh, our sweet summer child. I believe it was that first word that she stood there staring at that board for I don't know how long, trying to figure out what word it was.
Yes.
And I'm terrible at like the word puzzles like that, but even I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh. And then I should have looked, because I just simply out of being curious as to had she done everything correctly, how long it would have taken her. But girl puts all the tiles up there and goes and hits the red button, and just for great production quality, zooms in over on the plug
The
still
plug.
sitting on the floor. And I
Part
love
C. You missed part C.
I love that you could almost, like for me, it was like I could see the gears turning in her head, but at the same time, I'm like, no, girl, these are very simple words. You don't need to go back and check and see, well, maybe if it took you that long to pick the first one, you might want to go back and see if you got them right. And then it's like all of a sudden it just clicked and she's like, oh shit, I didn't plug in the plug-in. And she gets maybe that far away from hitting the red button whenever the timer stops, and they only had a minute. They only had a minute and 16 seconds to be able to do it. And then
I want to say Joseph's technique when he was doing the round and round, he was doing R G B T R.
Yes.
And by the time he got to like the other one, he's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
that would be me.
That would be me too.
Thinking
Yes.
if I say them out loud, it'll work, but then just I'd get up and be so
Yeah.
dizzy, like I can't even remember what the first color was now.
Yeah, I had it like 5, and I was like, okay, I can't. I'm done.
Well, I was thinking too, like all of them except for Angela that got the upgrade ones, all got the 4, but then could not get the next one. Which went the same for Miss Mackenzie, but she had me impressed that she was just leaning back in that chair with her leg crossed over as that
Yeah.
thing is just whipping her around.
Yes. It's like she's got her leg crossed.
Yeah.
She was
So then
something.
she again also only got 4 like the rest of them, but she got it in 19 seconds, which I feel like her height probably had a pretty good advantage, because if you watch her playing, it was almost like she's hitting here and she's just barely got to reach to hit the next one.
Mhm.
So then at the end of everything, Mackenzie got the upgrade because she had the better amount of right guesses and the time. And Chelsea got the downgrade, because we don't even need to explain why Chelsea got the downgrade. And then we get a little bit of a sneak peek from the episode that came out today, of Matt saying he's very single and he's ready to settle down.
George
I
boy.
I really liked what Brooklyn said. Is her husband described her as a spicy cupcake.
Yeah.
Quinn saying that he was a super fan. I liked Lisa coining the term vibe curator.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna like her at first. Now I'm kind of questioning that decision. So
Yeah, she's odd
I
somehow.
I liked her. The only thing that I had a problem with was that, like, watching all of these, even like at the beginning of the episode where it's showing them get the key and then they go on to talk about themselves. I had a lot of good words there to write down of like different things that they were talking about. For tonight's episode for her, couldn't really
yeah,
get anything.
yeah. She didn't put it out there.
And obviously, Kenny said that he's not going to tell anyone he's a cop.
Good move.
Takor says that she's the queen of the nerds.
You can see that.
Oh yeah.
And of course, for just a sneak peek, they only say the best part about Cedric is that he was a marine intelligence analyst and he won Brain of the Year, which I might call into question. And then of course there, which surprisingly, which I do take back a little bit after tonight's episode, but the sneak peek from yesterday was just Leah saying that she's a self-proclaimed chubby chaser.
That blew me away. I was like, wait, what did she just say?
You know what blew me away is from tonight, her talking about like, yeah, and I might actually go for Quinn. I was like,
Yeah. Then she was like looking at Matt.
oh, because he's like a Prince Charming.
Everybody's
Uh-huh.
gonna be looking at Matt.
Oh yeah. They're not
But
on yet. I have the cameras up, so it must be midnight.
Okay,
um,
it's a good
I
idea. Should have done
I
that.
I had some initial thoughts based on also from the sneak peeks that I was like, yeah, I think Takor and Cedric would be really cute together. And then he opened his mouth more. And immediately along the top of my paper, I was like, nope.
Yeah, I don't know that she's gonna get into a romance this summer.
I think her and Quinn might buddy up.
I could see that. I feel like they'd have more in common.
Yes.
But based just off of that sneak peek, I was like, oh yeah, I think the two of them would be really cute. And then I was just like,
Right. Yeah.
And I was also like, well, okay, Leah doesn't seem that bad. And then again, she opens her mouth. And
I might change Rabina. I don't know. I might dump Rabina for Lee. Leah.
or you can like pick Rubina up and put her in like a decent sized backpack.
Just carry her around.
And I did I was like, okay, yeah, I like Joseph more now that he is not staring at me like he's a pedophile.
Right. He's
um
okay.
Is that the
but
first
then
impression you got of me? I'm just curious. So.
just of him with the look that he was given, I was like, that man. mm. um and right before yesterday's episode ended, and everybody else is wearing something different, but he is wearing that same shirt from his promo picture, and I'm like,
Yeah.
God,
It's the only
where's
one
your
he's got.
where's your shag carpet, you piece of shit?
He needs that money for new clothes.
He needs a mom, Angela, to dress him. You know, something else that I noticed in a lot of the interviews and talk, they all the guys were looking for like a mom figure, and I'm like, where did this come from? I've never seen this in a
Mommy
season.
issues. They're giving us all the men this season with mommy issues.
It was,
Well,
yeah, yeah,
it was, Cedric was looking for himself an older woman,
yeah,
which
yeah,
was a little creepy considering him just saying, "Oh yeah, my grandma raised me, and we're like best friends."
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm definitely all like team Rubina. I did get quite the kick out of Tucker, but I am gonna have to see more with all of them together to really see. But and I also think like Mackenzie's just gonna be like tearing these men down, just sticking her arm out and just
Chop.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh
And I
yeah.
loved the very end was just them all taking like a shot of kombucha, and the look on Angela's face is just like, ugh.
What is this?
I was disappointed in Angela. I was rooting for her more, but she definitely now, in the way that she describes herself, I'm like, oh, you're just the mom that thinks you're the cool mom, but your kids walk all over you because they know that you're not going to say no.
More than likely, yes.
Had
And
she
she's
started,
so loud.
had she started crying, I wouldn't have been surprised.
I thought she was going to make Rubina cry.
Yeah, she was so loud. I think she'll be one of the first ones to go.
Out of pure irritation for her.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, we haven't covered tonight's yet, but there's two easy picks to put up. Whoever wins head of house,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a no brainer. You don't. They've already their game's on the out. So
I'm trying to. So, hold on. I can just look back here because I have it written down. To me, if it were, I'm going to assume that it's going to come down to whoever voting between Chelsea and Cedric. And despite how much I dislike Cedric, if he just put some duct tape over his mouth, he'd be fine. But there, you saw it more there at the end of tonight's episode. I did not like Chelsea's vibes. Like, she is gonna get butt hurt every time she doesn't win, and she's
She
gonna
is.
get butt hurt bad.
well, she's already introduced herself as the worst player.
Pretty much.
Yeah, as because I think she's made. I don't know if that's what she said exactly, but she said something about I'm the worst player or something.
Mm.
But come on, Cedric used his whole face to try and get the plate game.
Yeah. I really thought
Well,
Chelsea was going to be a leader, so I'm
yeah.
surprised.
Well, so her quote was that she will separate her morals to win. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, that does that, but is that what Jesus would do?
Right. You
No.
shouldn't have to do that to win.
It just, yeah, I feel like if anything, I would probably vote her out before I'd vote Cedric.
Yeah, it depends.
He's
If he
stupid, at least to me, he comes across as stupid, but I feel like he, if he's got the kind of experience that they're saying he does, I feel like if that smarter part of his brain decides to kick in, he could be a valuable asset.
He
yeah.
could be very manipulative, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this could just
Oh
be
yeah, Mr. Playboy.
a front.
Oh yeah, Mr. Playboy.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all actors in a way, so
Mhm.
well, if they do put the two of those up because it's easy just to put those two up,
Mm-hmm.
he'll probably go around and develop the bro code, so he'll get all the
Mm-hmm.
guys. So
They got
then
to
all he's
start
got to do is convince,
Cam
you
and
know, the
Cam Tucker and Kenny Quinn.
yeah, he'll do the bro thing. He'll be like, "Come on, the bros got to stick together. We'll work together." And then so then he's just got to convince a
Well,
girl.
and I feel like Cam and Tucker would be the ones to more go for that, but I feel like Quinn is just kind of going to be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
and
Quinn may put himself on an island, but I hope not too quickly. So
I think Kenny is going to be like, I'm too old for your bullshit.
yeah, your
Mhm.
shenanigans.
But it was a good episode.
It was a good episode. I was very pleased with
Or
it. I was just like I said, I was surprised there at the end. I was like, "What did I just watch?" I
Well,
think
I was getting pissed that one had to go to lunch, my tablet was dying, and I didn't have anything else to watch after that. So I was like, I
you'll
gotta
have
know
some,
what happens.
you'll after midnight tonight, you'll have something to watch. So for the next, then she did say 90 days, which tells me they went in the house mathematically to end the game October 13th. They had to have went in the house Tuesday, so they've been in the house a couple days now. So when the cameras kick on, it'll be a race to find out who leaks first, who's head of house, and then who's up for nomination.
Well,
And
who's
then,
already started doing shady shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it'll be a race. Twitter will be fired up about 1 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, and so will Reddit.
yeah, I haven't followed Reddit very much with it, but yeah, I think you're probably right.
I I was expecting there. It's funny with the thing that came out with Selena's titties. I expected that to be more on Reddit, but I didn't see it once.
It was all over Twitter. People couldn't figure it out.
But I'm darn determined now to figure out if that chick was on that episode or not, just as like a
Yeah, yeah. Or if she was really going to be let in, like if she was an alternate or something.
yeah. Um, but in tonight's episode, I thought it was very interesting of uh that Julie flat out said about it being a proto hologram box.
Oh yeah, yeah. And did you catch that Brooklyn when she came in the house? She caught that right off. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh,
Yes.
this is a hologram box."
Uh-huh.
But for a first episode, I thought it was really darn good. I wish
Mhm.
I wish more would have happened just because I wanted to watch more after, but
Yeah. Well, see, that's where they
Yeah.
get you. Starting next week when they do like next Thursday, they'll have a competition. The show will end with the competition ongoing. Well, if it's a long enough competition, and then the live feeds will kick in, and you'll be like, "All right, I'm glued to it." So yeah, that's when they get you. That's when they get their money's worth. So
mm-hmm.
right now they're just teasing us, but
very badly too, because I feel like they should have ended tonight's episode on like, okay, show them their superpowers, show them what's gonna happen to them without
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, she said one was going to get America's veto. Is that correct?
America's
Yes.
veto and deep fake head of household.
Yeah, which probably means when somebody's head of household, they can go and take control of it and not tell anyone. So that can that can throw. I mean, you think you're in charge, and I'm going to put up Angela and Tucker, and well, Tucker's got the or whoever's got the deep fake. I forgot now. He goes, no, you're not.
Um, Mackenzie and Quinn.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Well, then tonight's episode, we started off with Quinn.
Hmm?
He was very much talking about his hair because the dude has got some long curly ass hair. Like if you straightened that out, it would be like down to the small of his back. I
Ankles.
would bet. Yeah.
That had to have been growing for years. It had to have been.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He said he was all about the good vibes. That he was in marching band, which to me looked like it was still very much part of his life. Dude runs 20 miles a week because he used to do, I believe it was, he said he did track and field, and I want to say soccer, or
Soccer,
he did,
yes.
yeah, he did
Soccer.
something else.
Hmm.
And he's only 5'6", so somebody else for Mackenzie to not want to sleep with. And then we had Brooklyn, who said that her husband says that she can be really cute and sweet, but she also has a very big attitude, which I very much believe.
I don't like her. I get this bad vibe from her.
She almost puts it out, doesn't she? I mean,
Yes.
it's I don't know
The
if it's the eyes or what, but it's just like she almost projects it. Like I'm a bitch.
Some bad
the
juju. Yeah.
the picture wasn't giving me that, but after watching her in the room with her family and everything, um, people that are in competitions and like that tend to end up being competitive in everything else,
Right.
no matter if it's, well, I got the dishes done before you, or
Yeah.
and I have a feeling that's her.
Yeah.
Um,
She's got her daughter doing it now, so
Mhm.
and
um,
she did admit she was Mrs. America. Let's see if she admits that in the house. That would probably be a mistake.
and Miss Tennessee, she said she loves
She didn't
winning,
say?
or
Texas.
Miss Texas.
Okay.
It was a T.
Hmm.
Um,
Close.
which I also thought it was very interesting that she said she on her mom's side she was Native American, Indian, Cherokee, and Apache, which I thought was interesting. And I liked her quote of that her husband told her that she can only come home if she wins. So,
He's changing the locks as we speak.
yep.
He's watching the show right now, changing the locks.
And he's like, I just had to have an excuse. I've been trying to do this for the last 6 years.
Right.
Please keep her, Hollywood. Please keep her.
And then the good old boy Matt was after that, which he seemed like a relatively down to earth guy, and he uh,
They
said
had to
that
get the shirt off pictures. I mean,
he said that he was an urban cowboy. He really liked bow hunting, fishing, different things like that. Um, he comes from a really big Filipino family, which look like they probably eat wonderfully because I was hungry
Oh
just
yeah.
watching the video.
I
Um,
love going to my Filipino friends' houses.
mm,
I love the food.
that he was also a really big family guy, and that he was also very competitive. But
Hmm.
I like to see all that. He seemed very gentlemanly and just kind of like a normal dude that likes to go hunting, then work out shirtless in the backyard with his other male friends, and
it's what we do.
go
And
get
his
food from Granny.
dogs. He loves his dogs. He's a dog person. I love it.
That's always brownie
The
points in
perk.
my book.
Oh yeah.
And then there was Lisa that I was a little disappointed about, which all I could really
Yeah.
get her was that she loves the beach and there may be some magic behind the scenes. She didn't really divulge a whole lot.
Yeah,
No.
it was just flat. There was no
I
depth
like
to
to
it.
go walk on the beach without my sandals.
Yeah.
So does the rest
I
of the
think
world.
she'll be gone soon. Right.
I was disappointed in that because I still like her vibe, but it was just nah. Like, come
If
on, give
she's
me some.
not gone soon, it's because she's just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not in anybody's way.
Right.
And then Miss Leah, who's all about the Miami life of her tanning in her or running around in her bikinis, tanning on yachts, partying with her friends. I think they cast her on the wrong show. And I'm sorry, but like Jersey Shore Family Reunion is on the other side of the street.
Well, the whole time she was doing it, I was wondering, she's 26 and she's only got a high school education that she brags about. And she runs an underwear company, which
Yeah,
I
she
don't
she
know.
owns.
Maybe that is a prosperous business. I don't know. But
Are
to
they
buy a house like
special?
what they were showing in Miami, that's probably $1 million home, you know?
I don't know.
So,
Mhm.
I got the vibe from the way that she acted. Like she might have been showing that around, but I guarantee she probably still lives with her parents.
yeah, it could be her parents. You're right.
That
So,
or she has a chubby sugar daddy.
That too.
well, she might not after the show with
Well,
this kind of.
I mean, she's in Miami. Plenty of people go to Miami to retire. So,
Yep.
Sure, sure.
Yep.
So,
um, but other than her saying she loves fluffy men, um, which I would, from what I got from her, I would like to see what her idea of a chubby man is. You could
Right.
probably grab like a little bit of a love handle, and that's chubby to her.
yeah, being in Miami, I would think so. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
her,
that just blew me away. So, and she's in Miami and she's not very tan. That didn't make a lot of sense
yeah,
either.
but
Most people I know in Miami are tan.
hmm
her big thing I thought was interesting was she doesn't know how men have ever won Big Brother because they're so easy to manipulate.
Yeah, she's gonna throw the breasticles out there.
I was gonna say, I mean, the the breasticles can only hold for so long when somebody's waving $75,000 in front of your face.
Yeah, well, I was surprised the breasticles didn't pop out in tonight's adventure. So,
And then there was Cedric.
your guy,
That apparently there was a lot of classified information that he, can't talk about.
he'd have to kill you.
Yeah. And that he's besties with his grandma because she was the one who raised him. Um, his friend's nickname for him is Playboy. And to win, he's going to play dumb. I don't think it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it's gonna come difficult, or at least it will come off as difficult. So,
Yeah. He'll be trying really hard to act dumb, and people are going to be like, something's wrong with him.
it just hit me. Most people I know that are in that type of job in the military, it's by their 8th year in the military that they get the clearances to do certain things. That it takes that long to, I don't want to say brainwash you, but train you.
He would have
I
only
mean,
been in for what, like at max 3
four,
years?
I was saying 4 if he went in right out of high school.
Well,
So
I was thinking
now, I
because,
mean,
like,
he could have done something like computer analysis, but I
well,
know a
because,
friend of mine that went in out of high school The first thing they did is move him out of the country, work on his tan, and start teaching him a foreign language and telling him to grow a beard.
Well, I'm wondering if it wasn't majority computer based because he said he was a marine intelligence analyst. So I would bet that a good chunk of it was on the computer.
Probably, yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I was hoping that he was going to be like a one of those really nice, suave younger guys, but like, nah, he's that dude's just trying to stick it in what he can.
Or it hit me. I don't know if the Marine Corps does it, but there's a lot of I don't know what they call them, but they're officers that they will fly drones, from remote locations and observe and get information. I guess he could have done that
It's true.
because you have to be able to use the electronics and stay in the air and not get caught. And so there is, I don't know if the Marine does that kind of, typically the Marines are the ones that just shoot you. So
I
They
would
do
think that there's
everything.
probably some of that sneaky stuff out there, but they want you to look at it as we're the Marines, we just shoot people.
yeah, it's going to be a war. All right, we're in.
They all do drones. My son spoke to every branch about doing drones for them before deciding to not join the military.
So yeah, he could do something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
it's true, but I don't think he did. I mean, technically, who knows what's classified anymore? I mean,
Yeah.
we don't even.
I wiped my butt this morning and it was funky. That's classified.
Well, I saw breaking news come across my phone during the show from Newsmax that Biden was resigning. And I'm going to source it. It was from Newsmax, and I'm going to source it, and I see nothing anywhere else mainstream. So who knows what's real anymore? But
And then there was Takor. Um, she had so she
did
was
explain the accent. So
Yes.
I'm happy with that explanation because I am having a hard. I don't know if it's her tone in my ear. I'm having the hardest time hearing her, not understanding her, hearing her.
it's the mix of London and Chicago.
It's real thick, and I can't hear. I guess I just can't hear. She talks low or bassy or something, and I see her talking, and I'm like, I can't understand it. It's not. I just can't hear her. So it's
Oh,
so I will have the
girl,
headphones up on her, and then somebody will, and freaking Rubino will come in the room, and I'll be like,
Yes.
she I couldn't keep up with writing them all down, but her crochet work has been featured in a lot of places.
Mhm.
Um, she got some props from Michelle Obama. She's been featured in a lot of magazines.
yeah,
Uh, and they showed some really nice pictures of because she I believe was the one that she said she had two moms.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
betting she was adopted. By the way she said, because she said she was brought over at the age of 7.
well,
So
Mhm.
I'm wondering if maybe one of the moms lived in London at the time and raised her there, and then they moved over here for some reason.
it could be.
Um, but I thought the credits she had were
Wasn't she
very
the one that said
impressive.
that she would go to the refrigerator door and open it and there wouldn't always be food there? Was that her?
Mhm.
I feel
I
like there were
believe so.
a couple of those
Yeah, there was.
because I think even Leah had mentioned something like that. And I know Cedric did because he was talking about his mom wasn't ever there. He grew up in the trailer park and
Brooklyn in
his
the trailer park as well.
his dad wasn't around much. I don't know. There was a lot of that of
Mhm.
like very humble
It's
upbringing.
sad.
But so she had lived in London at the time. I can't remember for how long. Um, but from how her mothers raised her, she will not take anyone's crap.
No, she's
And,
going to be one to watch.
Mhm.
and then lastly, there was Kenny. He said that he was currently a sergeant, and he had gotten into like wanting to be the person that took down drug dealers, brought them in, because he ended up losing his brother to addiction. So I commend him
Absolutely.
for turning a bad situation like that into one that you can help people.
I don't think he'll be able to hide the fact he's a cop, though.
Well, and I almost picture, because like we were talking about, where I wonder if like due to the connection there, if Cedric would keep it quiet. But I feel like he would be the one to be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it quiet, and like
Right.
And mark him out. Yeah.
almost unknowingly be like, hey, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then, out of our second group of eight, Quinn, Takor, Matt, and Leah are the first ones to go through as the second group. Um, Leah was the first one to enter that time. And when they had made it into the kitchen, was I guess enough for Leah to give Matt a once over and say that he was giving Prince Charming. And apparently she can also see herself with Quinn, which Quinn is too good for her. So, and
I
I
agree.
I really enjoyed the pair of pants that Quinn was wearing. They were like
Yes.
They
brown,
confused
white,
me.
black, and tan patchwork. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
those
It's
are
like so many
nice.
Very
colors.
unique.
It confused me.
I like it's not something that I could pull off wearing, but they looked good on him.
Mhm.
So then it was Cedric, Lisa, Kenny, and Brooklyn. Brooklyn ended up being the first one in of that one, and Kenny was so very kind to hold the door for everybody there. And I thought it was interesting that Kenny had mentioned that he wanted to be like a dad figure to all the younger ones. And like right off the bat, Cedric makes a comment that he feels like him and uh, Kenny are vibing because he can see how uh, he mentions that Kenny has a tattoo of a flag on his arm, and he was pretty sure that it was like military related. So of course that drew him right into that. Um, and around that time is when Brooklyn takes notice of the hologram box and makes a comment that she's wondering um, if another player would come along as a hologram. So then, about that point, is when Julie calls him outside to meet Ainsley, where things with. I was almost hoping that maybe they changed up Ainsley's story for the second part. I kept
Yeah.
expecting it, but they only like
Mhm.
added a couple little extra things, like how she really likes the beach. And that was when I noticed when she said totally, it was very robotic. Like, totally. That second T, there's a lot of enunciation on that second T, and I was like, mm. And then whenever it's their time to decide whether they're going to vote her in or out, Matt makes a comment that he doesn't trust it because she looks like she's dressed in tinfoil. And again, with that, she needs 5 votes to be able to go in. She got 2 yeses and 6 nos.
Worse than yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so then, Ainsley explains to them what she is and everything. And the challenge for the two that could possibly upgrade was called the AI chip install. So they have these giant, I don't know what you call them, these giant pieces that they've got to fit into pieces that match them on the motherboard in the room, which is just on the different walls. Um,
But the
but
room is moving.
the room is constantly moving. Um, then the downgrade challenge was called facial recognition, to where technically they were only supposed to use their face, but BB Bot said that she would allow them to use their shoulder to get the discs in their numbered receptacles, and that the fewest number of discs and the lowest time was going to be who lost on that one.
No one tried to use their shoulder, did they?
I believe Brooklyn did. I kept
Brooklyn
waiting
did.
for it, but
Mhm.
I saw her at one point moving it along, and I thought she did really good at that challenge.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought Kenny did too.
yes.
Mhm.
What I got the biggest kick out of whenever, because Quinn was the first one to start, and he voted yes, so he was in the AI chip room, um, trying to run around the room to get the piece and put it in the right slot while it's moving. He just is going, I'm so athletic. I'm so
Yeah.
athletic.
He
And I got the
was like, "Come on, this isn't fair." I was like, "You're in the good room here."
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, but
and
that
I
was
think the
kind of like,
competition was better than the color one, personally.
yeah,
Yes.
it was a lot easier. And I
Yeah,
was almost kind of thinking that they'd have them do the same thing.
me too.
Mhm.
Um, but I was like, oh, expect the unexpected. That's not gonna happen. Um, but yeah, like you've just basically got to move one thing to another without memorizing anything in a room that's moving.
Yeah,
But that kind of solidified my feelings on Quinn, because I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna be goofy, and that would be me going through there just like, oh, I need to lose so much weight. I'm not in shape to do this. I can't do this.
can you imagine Angela trying that?
Oh my gosh.
And they didn't let Leah change her shoes. Did you notice that she had the
Oh,
the
yeah.
heels
The
on,
platforms. Yeah.
and I was like, you should at least let her put on tennis shoes. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
you could break an ankle or
Yeah,
something.
I
So
wasn't
Yeah.
even I wasn't even paying attention to that part.
yeah, I caught that. But the good thing about that, she was laughing the whole time.
Mhm.
So
But Quinn ended up getting all four of the pieces in 54 seconds. So then it was Leah, and I did get quite a kick out of her because I felt like I would have been a mix between Quinn and Leah, the self deprecating, but also just the fits of giggles while I'm running around doing it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and
That
she
one time it
is,
slammed her pretty good into a wall
yeah.
too.
Yes.
And I think it was like the last one, she kept trying to insert it wrong. And I'm like, are you stupid? Are you
and
stupid?
she couldn't stop laughing. So, so I was like,
Well, that would be a problem with me too. I'd end up like sliding down the wall just laughing and run out of time.
yeah,
But she made an interesting comment as she was going in there, was that she was excited to be on, that side of things because it would give her an advantage, and advantage over everyone was music to her ears.
of course.
There was something else that I was gonna say about her, but I can't remember. Oh, what I hated about this episode, though, like, obviously, like for me, I'm trying to write all this stuff down. At least with last week's episode, it stayed on the person through the entire
Yes.
task. instead of switching around. And I'm like, I can't keep up with who's doing what. Because like Brooklyn was next after that, and I couldn't keep up with whether she got 2 or 3. I'm kind of gonna assume it was 2 because everybody else got 2.
I think she got 2 twice, didn't she? Wasn't she the one that dropped 2 twice?
No, she didn't drop any.
No, I meant
Um,
in the number 2 spot. She put 2 in the number 2 by mistake.
I I I didn't look at that.
Yes, one of them put
Oh,
2, and I don't think they
I
meant to,
know.
but they did.
I no, I think that was Lisa. I don't think it was
Okay.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Um, and
Who used the
then
opposite side of her face? I don't understand.
for Takor, she also got 2 at the time that the stopwatch clicked off. And poor Matt dropped that same disc 3 times
Yep, he was all thumbs.
and still only got 2. And then at Lisa, she still got 2 at the time. And at that point it was when it told us that their time that they had to beat was 2 discs in 22 seconds. And I was very, very impressed by Kenny. He
Mhm.
was and you know, I'm thinking he has to have those critical thinking skills as a cop, but he was the only one that got on the floor to help make the lower ones easier, and he was using the metal the metal bars that were on
Mhm.
like this table thing to help maneuver himself. And I was like, "Oh, that's really freaking smart." And then poor Cedric, who also dropped it 3 times, but he still only got 2 at the time the stopwatch stopped.
Yeah,
So
he was
then
face first into it. That was the one that got. I was like, "What is he
forehead,
doing?"
forehead
Yeah,
first. No,
and with
I
Lisa
would have
using the
been
other
working
side of her
my.
face, she couldn't see where she was going ahead. So
Yeah.
it just confused me because everybody else, at least you could see, where you're going, but her, you were
Yep.
tracing. I'm like, I don't understand, but everybody has a
She's a
has a
celebrity. She's a celebrity chef, not a genius.
well,
What if she's left-handed?
that it may be, but it just to me because when she did, I was like, you can't see where you're going.
Yeah.
You're looking like you're
Yeah.
using braille almost or something. I don't know because it didn't look like it just looked like there wasn't like a rail. It was just like 2 pieces of plexiglass and you just had to keep it
Mm-hmm.
between the 2.
Right.
Yeah. I was curious as to how that was working, um, because I thought it was like a part of the disc hooked onto the hooked onto like the plexiglass for it to be able to drop down into the bucket thing, but I think it was just like it showed an outline of what they had to follow, and then if they let go of it while it was sitting on the side of the um the board, it would just fall right into the right slot, which I was interested to see how that actually worked. But
It's pretty creative.
yeah, yeah. Um, I just would have liked to have seen them do something a little bit more similar to what Group One did.
Yeah.
Um, because it's funny, it's like Group Two of the Yes group got it a lot easier than Group One did. And me personally, I feel like Group Two of the first group got it easier than Group Two of Group Two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, because like I said, it would have been one thing if they had to stick their head down into something or stick it up and there are just spiders and cockroaches and whatever, you got to worry about them crawling all over your face and stuff, but they were just popping it up in a tube. They can't hurt you.
Yeah.
Nah, make it scarier. Let them be able to hurt you.
At least let it be maybe just the top of your head, not the whole tube.
Yeah.
Like if you go too far, oh, they're gonna get you. No, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just thought the imbalance there was a little, it was just a little weird to me.
yeah. They did the pressure cooker test last year, and they put you in this dark room, and you got to have your finger, whatever finger you choose, you cannot let that finger go. Once they say go, off the button. You got to press the button, and the last one holding it is the winner. And you're in a pitch black room. The button's not even lit up, and they'll suddenly start strobing the room. They'll start playing loud music. Then they will drop the air conditioning down all of a sudden with cold air, and then they drop snakes in the middle in the dark, and you could hear them, and they were like freaking out. So I think Peter got a little upset about that because they dropped him out of the ceiling and they just kind of went splat. Now they couldn't get to the contestants, but they didn't know that in pitch black.
Oh,
They could hear them and smell them, and then they would turn on like a green light or something. So it's just enough light where you could see. So,
I'd be the one like to have my thumb on it and then like have this arm sitting on that hand so I can't move it.
yeah, we stayed live during that contest last time to see if we could do it.
Oh gosh.
We were live for I'd have to go back and look. It was like 15 hours.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
No,
I was like falling over. It was Dina, me, and JT. JT tapped out first. Me and Dina made it. So, but that was the episode where the one house guest found us on Twitch and called into the show. So, oh no, he didn't call in. He sent me a message and wanted the link. And so I gave him the link, but he didn't use his video. He just used audio. And for like a half hour, he's just babbling away about Matt, one of the guy playing. Yeah, CBS didn't like that. CBS didn't like that one bit.
Oh well, suck it, CBS.
I'm their one. They are our number one viewer now. They assigned a production assistant to us after that. I did hear that.
So after those interesting group of games, the second group finally gets to meet the first group, which I thought went surprisingly well. Of them, just I heard a lot of them complimenting each other.
Well, Julie did say one thing that I thought was interesting. They were each isolated. So during that time, they couldn't even talk to each other. So I thought that was good because that was the first thing I was like, you're going to leave these people in there for whatever it is, 2 hours, even if it's just 2 hours to complete the competition.
To let group one build an alliance against group two.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of something that they did on Drag Race one year for All Stars. They brought in one group and did their thing, did their challenge, and who won. Brought in another group and did the exact same thing. So then the two that won each challenge had to face off against each other. But group one had basically formed their alliance that they didn't mess with group two.
I think Survivor does that too, don't they?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think they did. So yeah, but I noticed she said they've each been isolated. I was like, there ain't that many rooms in the house, but okay. They were also wearing the same thing from last night, so they dropped them all in on Tuesday night.
It had been like 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, they had been separated, but not 2 hours by themselves. So yeah. So and they didn't give enough audio to where you could catch the intermingling very well.
I feel like they purposefully made a couple of them louder. Like at one point I was writing, so I didn't get to see all of what happened. I was listening. Quinn was complimenting Angela. Because
something about a bracelet, wasn't it?
He was like, "Oh, I have that same bracelet," and I'd looked up enough to see who he was talking to and knew that it was Angela, but there was somebody else that two of the girls were talking, and like one was complimenting the other's outfit. And then right before it goes to the next part, somebody was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what the outfits are going to be like." So, and it
Yeah.
the voice didn't sound right, but if I had to guess off the top of my head, anybody who would say that, it would probably be Brooklyn.
Probably. Yeah.
But so
Probably.
at that point, they get them all together. I guess would be there in the living room where the proto box is, and
Hmm.
BB Bot comes back and tells them that so for the winners, the people that got upgraded, um, everybody won't know yet who it is, and they won't know what their power is yet. But she was gonna out the two that lost,
Yeah.
which was Chelsea and Cedric. Um, and they have been downgraded to mascots so they can be there to cheer everybody else on. But they can't be head of household and they can't veto. They can't vote, but they can still be voted against and be evicted. And then that's also when we find out. So, obviously it's Mackenzie and Quinn who've been upgraded. And I don't know if they'll have the choice between the two or how it's going to work. But then that's where we find out about deep fake head of household and America's veto. And
Yeah.
then we've got to wait until next week to figure out who's getting voted out.
Yep. Yep. And I just pulled up the live feeds. It's counting down an hour and 12 minutes, 11 minutes now.
Paramount was running behind. I was right on there at 9 o'clock, and there wasn't nothing.
I was noticing, well, in fact, I messaged you. I was like, have you got anything on your screen? Because all I had was the bars, the red, green, blue, the test color bars. I'm like, what is
Oh, that's
that?
what you were talking about. No, I thought you were just talking about there was a commercial that popped up before the Jimmy Dean commercial, because that
It
came
was
up. I don't
nothing
know.
before Jimmy Dean. It was just the color test thing for me. Was it for you, Amanda?
No.
Yeah, for me, because I was actually like, I was like checking my phone to make sure I still had internet, and they had nuked us or some shit. I was like, all right, is AI messing with us,
Oh,
or is this? It was long enough for me to get online and start looking to see if we were, no
oh
inbound
my
nukes.
God.
Because it was just that,
No.
right before they do the emergency broadcast, they put that multicolored
Yeah.
lines across. It was that frozen, and I'm like, okay, is this
It's
AI
probably
or?
it was
No.
probably like CBS's live feed, like an issue with that or something.
Well, yeah, because it
Probably.
actually showed a clip of one of last season's, like, I don't even know. It was long enough to recognize
Oh, I know what you were
who it
talking about.
was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
then it went away. And then it
I
went to
completely
us.
forgot about that.
Yeah, it was just enough for me to say, well, that was last season because it was red and I can't remember who, but just enough of it to catch what it was, and then it went to that color screen. Wonder maybe somebody in the South didn't pay for their bill for the commercial, so because we had Publix commercials, and I know you guys don't have Publix, for the grocery store.
No,
So
mine kept being that Jimmy Dean commercial, and Volkswagen's got a new vehicle coming out, and
yeah, there's no
then I
Volkswagen here in
then
Atlanta.
I started getting really hungry for breakfast sausage.
You were just looking at pictures of Matt. Come on. So
Well, maybe that urban cowboy is a gentleman and will make me some breakfast.
There you
could.
go.
Well, we got two chefs in the house, so it'll be interesting. Lisa and Tucker both say they're chefs. So
Well, and two, Mackenzie had made a point last night to be like, "Oh, I want to cook. I want to cook."
Hmm.
yeah, I caught that right off. So Hey, well, you know what? There's a perk to that. What you do is you volunteer to cook first. You say, all right, I'm not cleaning up. And you cook the absolute worst meal. They'll never ask you to cook again. That's the way it
That's
works around the firehouse. When you're the
Yeah.
rookie, and they're like, all right, rookie, you got to cook. You're, well,
All
shit,
right.
you ain't never cooking again, rookie.
No,
Your dish detail.
I just pull the crap that you were talking about. That one guy a couple of seasons ago did just cook them the most
Yeah.
absurdly
He was like making him cupcakes
Oh
delicious,
gosh,
the most
yes, all the
absurdly delicious
spaghetti.
and
meals, and they're just like,
pasta. Yeah. And he
and
was
then if
not
it,
very athletic at all. And he's like, oh, I'm so full. Like hardly ate.
That's
they're all just
hilarious.
like, oh, it's a food coma.
Yeah, that
Just like
that
to
was
see
But
the
a
that's
camera,
good
it.
one.
like see the camera pan on him and him just be like,
Oh, he said it in the diary room. He said it. He said, I'm fattening them up. That way they're slow and I can outrun them because I can't run."
I'll be interested to see the diary room stuff for this coming episode with Chelsea, because I think she's just gonna start getting bitter really fast.
Well, so that was
Yep,
going to be my next question. Out of all of them, who's going to be the first to cry? That's always a big
Angela.
thing.
Angela.
I'm going with Chelsea because I think she's going to be so upset she did so bad. I think she's disappointed in herself. God let her down. So
I don't know. I feel like a lot of it is going to depend on how she acts between like when they finish finding out that it's her and Cedric, and then because in like the sneak peeks for next week it shows her just sitting there like being pissed off.
yeah. And then who's the first person do you think will get homesick?
Ooh.
Either I think Matt will probably get pretty homesick, not to the point that he'd leave, but he is is talking about how close he is with his family. um or maybe even Mackenzie. um she
I'm
had
going
a
for
lot of
chemo. I'm going for chemo
mm,
because he's not
Yeah,
been off the island much,
right.
and he lost his. They were close
Mackenzie was
family.
just away at college.
mm,
Yeah, and chemo's a little bit older.
well,
It would be a toss up between that or Angela, but I'm wondering if Angela's going to be like, "Those brats, I got a break from them." So
Yeah, that's
now I
true.
feel like that would be like Kenny, because if you watch in the video,
Yeah,
his kids are younger.
the
He's gonna be like,
kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, it could be.
something I thought was funny that popped up in the commercials was like a commercial for, I think it was for Serta, and I was like, why didn't they just they could have had they could have
Chemo.
had chemo do an ad or
Chemo do it,
something.
yeah.
Or I just want to see him like it's a green screen walk on frame into the commercial and just be like,
Oh, that would be fantastic.
but
He'll get us.
I had to giggle to myself because I was like,
He'll get a
Can you
job.
imagine him trying to sleep on the one beds in the room, the coffin beds?
God,
He'd
yeah.
be like, I can get you all great mattresses for these.
hey, like, hey, you don't send me home this week. Each week you don't send me home, I give you a percent off.
Yeah, and that's to say, okay, so who's going to be the worst in that room first? Takor?
who's gonna who's going to
Who's
react the worst?
Yeah, who's going to have the absolute meltdown over being in that room worse? I'll say Takor, probably
Leah.
Leah.
Leah. Yeah, Leah, we could agree on that.
I
I
almost
wouldn't want
want
to
to.
be locked in that little room with Rabina, so that would almost be torture in itself.
Well, I was thinking like, well, I don't think Rabina is not gonna like it, but she's so tiny. I feel like she'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And probably, I guess my next one would be Lisa. I think Decor, Lisa, and Leo have the worst time in there.
The only reason why I don't think Lisa will have as much of a problem, um, and I'm sure part of it was meditation that it showed in the video of her,
Mhm.
but I have a feeling she's probably a yoga-y person.
Yes. Me
So I
too.
think it might
Could
be
be.
like, yeah, I don't like this, but I'm
Yeah.
good. I got it.
Yeah. I think
And
she'll be okay.
she'll be the worst on slop. You know, the oatmeal protein that they make for them. She will be the worst on that. But they are allowed each season to come up with recipes and use it. They just can't. There's like certain things they can't have. So they can add like barbecue sauce and stuff, but they can't. They can't put it into a biscuit dough or something. So
Hmm.
because I think one of the
I
guys, he was mixing hot sauce in it and spreading it out and baking it and breaking it up and eating it like chips, and that's how he survived on it for like a week.
hmm,
It was nasty. He lost like 10
interesting.
pounds.
Oh
Damn.
my gosh.
Yeah, and had the hot shits. So
Oh gosh.
I just hope that like Cam and Tucker like get into some shit together and start trying to like
yeah,
prank everybody else.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Or
the
It'll
girls, I
be
don't
I
see any
interesting to
jokers in the
see.
girls. Maybe
I feel like
Rabina.
Rabina.
But I think she would out
Yeah.
herself laughing first. So
Yeah. Well, it's funny because there are a lot of them that I can picture as like how Jersey Shore did things. I feel like Cam and Tucker are going to be like a Vinny and Polly duo where like just to freak some of the other guys out, they'll like hop in bed with each other and like grab each other and like put a leg
yeah,
over each other and act like
yeah,
they're napping together, and so everybody walks in and is like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, we
I
had
feel like Rabina will probably find somebody like one of the girls you wouldn't expect to like, because she's like Snooki size too. She's gonna find somebody that's like, no, we got to get the guys back. We've got to.
like I said, she'll be the one that like she'll be hiding in the corner and gonna scare them when they come around, but she'll out
Oh
herself
gosh.
laughing.
No,
So
she'll be small enough to like hide under one of the beds and like grab an ankle or something.
yeah, Asian
Oh my
James
god.
used to do that in the house in his season, and there's a big trash can in the supply room where they go get their whatever, and he would go and hide in it, and they'd come in and he would jump out and scare the living crap out. It was hilarious. So they
Oh
would
my
they
gosh.
hit him with everything. They took knives away that season because somebody almost stabbed him.
Gosh.
Or I can also picture like it being like everybody else is tired, doesn't want to do anything, but Rabina wants to go get the guys back. And I feel like the only person that would probably go with her to do something like that is Angela.
Yeah,
Yeah. That would be
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I can see those two pairing up. So
Mhm.
because they both got what appears to be the same type of energy.
But
So,
Mm.
I can't decide yet who I think is going to hook up first.
uh,
I
Joseph
haven't.
and Lisa, and I'll gag. I don't wish that on Joseph.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. She just gives me. There's something about her in Brooklyn. I don't know if it's just their energy. I don't get much from Lisa. Like I said, just flat. Just like
Mm-hmm.
you can't get
Yeah.
anything from her. And Brooklyn is just resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's that type of mom that she's just got to give her kid the side eye, and they're
Yep.
like,
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the incoming warning. The next one's the flip flop. So yeah, absolutely.
if I have to make direct eye contact with you, I will beat you.
Yeah, yeah. I will kill you. I brought you into this world. I can take you out. So, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a fun season. I'm looking
I
forward to
think so
it.
too.
But
Yeah.
my
I want
money
to
is
see it
still on
unfold.
Joseph and Rubina as the final two.
You'll
Maybe,
have to
maybe,
you'll have to
maybe
look on
Kennedy
Twitter.
third.
What was it?
I said maybe Kenny in third place. I don't know. I don't know. I got mixed
I don't know.
emotions.
I think everybody's gonna find out about Kenny real quick, and he'll be gone.
Well, Derek didn't in his season, and Derek
Yeah.
was the only winner to never be put up for eviction the entire season.
Oh
The
wow.
entire season was never put. He talked himself out of it every time. He'd be like, "You don't want to put me up there because if you put me up there, then I can't do this for you." And they were like, "Yeah,
Oh
you're
yeah,
right."
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he was a good cop. He was out New Hampshire, maybe. He wrote a pretty good book
Okay.
afterwards.
I
So
I
Maybe
yeah,
he
think
will survive then.
I think everybody will like Kenny real well.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
I'm
only
pretty
thing is
fond of him.
the show typically this season it's a little bit more diverse. There's a little bit better age group because a lot of times they're pretty much like Leah and Quinn's age, you know. And this year they got a little more 30-year-olds peppered in there. Usually they get rid of the old people first, so I think they might Angela and Kenny have a chance of making it a couple weeks.
See,
If
I feel
Angela
like
can
Kenny
calm down.
does.
Yes.
I think the next 2 to 3 episodes will be very telling on Angela, depending
Mhm.
on like if they get to decide which room they're sleeping in and everything and who has to bunk with her.
Yeah, I noticed that they did not bring luggage in with them. Usually they bring a duffel bag with them. They didn't bring
Oh
anything in
wow.
with them. So, and because that used to be a big thing, you'd bring your duffel bag and you'd run to try and get the best bed. So,
Oh.
um, and I didn't count the number of beds. We should go back and count them because a lot of times they'll one short it.
Mm.
Oh
One, not from
gosh.
the HOH, one short from even it. So somebody right off the bat has got it bunk. So
Oh my
we need to go back and count. So, but yeah. And it's just little games like that. And then one year they kept turning the clock back on because the only clock is the one on the stove. And they will close the door down when they don't want you out in the backyard. It's a roll down, secure type thing, and you can't even see out of it. And they turn the lights on, they turn the lights off. And they were messing with the clock one year and they had them so screwed up. It was
Oh my
unbelievable. So yeah. Because they're like people like, I feel tired, but it's like noon. And it was like 4 a.m.
oh my gosh. Jeez, I would
And
die.
then they would roll the door open and fix the clock, and they'd be like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah, come on, it's noon.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they don't, and they will turn the air conditioning down so much that they can't sleep. Like a lot of times, you'll catch the house guest trying to sleep, and they'll be like, "No, you're not going to sleep," and they'll turn it down like 40.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm wondering uh if Julie is going to actually show up in the house at some point.
well, she said that she was going to play a part in this season more than she's ever played before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's going to be the hologram at 2 a.m. yelling house guests. Julie says, "Get your ass out here." So
You'll have to look on Twitter. There's an interesting picture, or it's a little tiny short video of in the room where it had like the hand and it looked like a robot hands and something else. But it goes like robot hand, the other thing, and then it's just Julie standing there like,
oh,
Hmm.
okay. No, I'll have to go back and look at that.
They didn't show the room with the aquarium in it.
No, they didn't.
wasn't that the diary room?
No, no.
Or that was just
I
a little
think
chill out
that's
place.
yeah. I think that's the space between the bathroom and the bedrooms, or is it Yeah, bathrooms and bedrooms. I think so because the whole if you look at the studio, it's kind of like a U with a thing in the middle, so
Mhm.
where the bedrooms are. And then upstairs is totally separate. But And they do have, depending on what they're using, some years they will use it like the first couple seasons, they used it as a surprise room and the guests had to find it. And it was just like a little tiny room you could crawl through, and it was like luxurious in there. And then they added later, it was like a bonus room that you could win. And in one year, because it was so small, they made it like the torture room where you were given like air mattress and a camp pillow, you know. So
I would have been okay with that.
yeah, I would have too. So yeah. I had an air mattress on the torture room, the have not room, the black and green room. I'd be okay, but that's gonna be hell.
Oh yeah.
So especially if those lights move or turn on or do something glow in the dark, that's gonna really mess with you at night, so you can't sleep.
Oh yeah.
That's the point of it. Well, we will wait and see. The feeds will come on here soon. I have to look and see the official timer. We're down to 53 minutes. So I'll be up because I still got 2 hours of radio to record. So,
oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm feeling some kind of way. So yeah, our next show, Saturday, Misfits. Amanda, you'll be there. Miss Cheyenne, you'll be there. Did you get in touch with Shay and see if she could do it, Amanda, by any chance?
She is hoping to make it, yes.
Sweet. All right. So
not for sure yet, but she's hoping to make it.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So hopefully she will. And then I don't know who else will make it. So we'll just play it by ear. Bobby will be back from vacation, I think. So maybe he'll show up.
I don't know how much he's going to want to listen about tarot cards.
You never know what you're going to get with Bobby.
It's true.
You never know. So, but yeah, so it'll be a good show. And then Monday night, we will have our update on Big Brother. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun. Cheyenne, you have anything else going on this weekend?
I'll be here and on Bracket Bastards on Sunday.
All right. You're becoming a regular star.
Well, shoot, I might have my own radio show before I know it.
I heard that could be in the works. So I got 5 hours. I think I'm ready to give up. Oh, I'm dragging this week. And I have to look. Have I done Nashville yet? I haven't uploaded Nashville, have I?
Let me look.
I don't think I have. Oh, man. So I'll have to do that too before tomorrow night. So good Lord.
Yeah, it's showing 1 week ago.
Yeah, I may have bitten off more than I can chew. Oh, well, something will happen. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you ladies go so I can upload this to Spotify. And then we will see each other Saturday on Misfits and then Monday again for this. And then we've got a show Wednesday night, the Paranormal Guys. So, good times.
Good times indeed.
Cheyenne, you look like you're deep in thought about something there.
I'm trying to find things.
You're deep in thought. I'm like trying to stay awake over here. Like.
Yeah, you're gonna work tomorrow. All I gotta do is sleep. So
I gotta work tomorrow too.
I'm sorry. This is the one perk of being retired, that I can stay up all night, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it now that I don't have to do it. When I had to do it, it was like miserable. Now that I don't have to do it, I'm like, this is dread. I'm getting old. Don't tell anybody I said that. All right, well, Parapost Network, thank you for allowing us on Yerg's Radio and Rainbow Radio. We always appreciate your support and the use of your radio waves and the toll-free line. One of these days we'll get a call in. So until next time, ladies, I will see you soon. Ta-ta for now.